Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, and we have a lot to talk about here. This is my post-market wrap-up on this Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Look, let's start off with this. Despite the fact that this stock market fell into some pressure today, nothing major. Okay, all three indices, the major indices, did finish lower. Okay. Uh, Once in a while, the market is supposed. Now, there's all of this talk, whatever you want to call it, propaganda. I have no idea about, this market is about to fall. It probably is. The market's due. I hate to say that word due, but it is due for something. We've watched this market go up and up and up and up ever since, you know, central banks started propping this up. The Fed's balance sheet, $500 billion pumped into this thing. What would we expect here? Okay. But nothing goes up in a straight line. And if you recall last week, I said this market looked like it was due. I hate to say due for anything, but it's due. Okay. But to me, again, from a guy who does nothing pretty much but stare at what's going on in the driver of this market, which is the debt market, it's an incredible phenomenon. The MMRI, I just looked at it like a second before I clicked go on this thing. It was 211. 211. We are 11 points in a high risk zone. I would not be surprised, honestly, to see the MMRI drop into a moderate risk zone, which would the market, I think, would get off on, quite honestly, especially with all this easy money pumping in here, with crude oil getting propped up, energy companies getting propped up, the big banks. I mean, with all this cash that's making its way to the big banks out of these smaller institutions, I mean, you know how this works. If they can prop up the banks, the big banks, if they can prop up energy, the stock market's going higher. Duh. Can I please get a duh? Duh. Anyway, a couple of other things are going on here. So 10-year yield dropping, relative strength of the dollar falling off a freaking cliff. You got cash making its way into cryptocurrencies, doing very well. Gold and especially silver. Silver's up by like 4.75% today. What else would you expect to see? Now, we got some interesting news here. So we got this ISM manufacturing number yesterday. Was a big shock. Oh, no one saw this coming. Manufacturing, factory activity, it's just gone. Okay, how many times have we covered right here on this blog? It's over. It's over. This is why you're seeing debts and deficits explode to the upside with nowhere to go but much worse. But we found out today that, again, and no surprise to you if you follow this blog, nobody here should be surprised. The global GDP, gross domestic product, is cratering at its fastest pace ever in history. So what does that tell us? Well, something that we've known since time immemorial. The global economy is done, finished. And what else is happening? At the same time, let's put this together. Okay, I'm all a macro guy. At the same time, we have a global economy contracting and contracting and contracting. We got inflation going higher and higher and higher. Central banks pumping the system, buying it all to fulfill their end game to be the lender and buyers of last resort. And one other thing, this buildup toward war. The war machine is being fueled. This is what they do. Okay, what's the number one way to turn this whole thing around, to get manufacturing to start picking up, energy companies getting bid higher, banks? How do you do it? War starts the industrial engine. Right now, the industrial engine, not just here in the United States, but around the world, is dead. It's dead and it's over. And what are they doing? They're going to push us into war. Imagine my shock here. And that's what they're building up towards. Period. Okay. And there's a lot of other things that are in play here. You got the issue with the U.S. dollar reserve status, which we talked about yesterday. Is the U.S. dollar reserve status being threatened right now? Absolutely. 100% it is being threatened right now. And that's another reason why there's gonna be more war. I mean, that's it. The Federal Reserve is determined to keep the US dollar as the world reserve currency, and they will fight for it. They will fight to defend this. Thank you, Horrified Heartlander, and thank you, Peter Wendell. They will fight tooth and nail. They'll spread our guts and blood on every freaking part of this planet. You understand? Okay? And that's where we're going, quite obviously, in my view. So not only do we have global gross domestic product cratering at its fastest pace ever, we have an inflation that continues to rise. Now we have this other fly in the ointment, this issue with crude. What do we know? I love talking about what we know. OPEC wants crude higher, much higher. Okay, doesn't mean we're getting there in a linear fashion. We're not going to go straight up. Okay, there's going to be ups and downs, a randomish walk here with an upward drift. You understand? That's how we're going to get there. And we're going much higher. And this issue with energy, with crude oil, means that you can rest assured, okay, that food inflation, being that we are at a over 4-decade high right now, you haven't seen a thing. And it's not just food inflation that we're going to be dealing with here, okay? Everything's going to continue to inflate. Let me put another perspective on this for all of you here. So we are in the middle of some kind of rate hiking situation with central banks here who really have duped the public on an unprecedented scale. Oh, yes, they're fighting inflation. They're in the fight of their lives. They're going to bring inflation down. No, they never had any intention of doing this. Again, a central bank's power resides in one thing. For those of you that are new here, pay attention, okay? A central bank's power resides in its ability to inflate. You want to end central banking? You want to get rid of Christine Lagarde and Yellowstone Powell? You want to get rid of these central banks? You prevent them from inflating. Period. That's it. Let's just take the Federal Reserve just for a second here, okay? Let's just focus. If you or I or anyone was able to prevent the Federal Reserve from issuing one lousy, stinking dollar, just $1, just one, prevent them from creating $1, the system implodes and every single central bank goes down in a domino effect. It's the nature of the beast. It's the debt-based economic model. People, what have I told you since forever? It's a curse upon this earth. This is why the forefathers of this nation wanted a commodity-backed currency. It would prevent wars. It would prevent unnecessary spending. They knew that. Our forefathers were so much smarter than any of the freaks that we have running the shit, the crap show right now. You can't say S-H-I-T. Thank you, Pontus. Thank you. Shaved and looking sharp. I appreciate that. Anyway, you all know this here. So let me just, how about this one? And we heard this before, but we're hearing it again. So not only factory activity, manufacturing's dead here in the United States and around the world. GDP cratering. They're talking about, again, ready? Manufacturing recession. Oh, the economy's okay, but we're going into a manufacturing recession. It's a manufacturing recession. Make it up. Make it up. Thank you, Kay Holtman. Thank all of you, sincerely, who support my work. At the beginning of every month, I always ask people to support my work. $5, that's all I ask for. And to those of you that do that, thank you. Anyway, what else here? So as I said, MMRI 211. I would be willing to go out on a limb here. Let's just see how this plays out. If in fact this this scheme to keep rates suppressed goes on, and can a single one of you imagine that it's not going to go on and on and on? Duh, of course it's going to. This is, again, a major effort by central banks to foster or project the illusion that there's some kind of stability in an unstable market. The debt market is a ticking time bomb. An enormous amount of effort, and I mean an exponential enormous effort, is going into keeping the debt market appearing as if it's stable. And the only way they can do it, okay, is to be pouring more cash into it. Okay, a central bank, not even the Federal Reserve, is magical. They don't have any magical powers. You understand? They have to get into the market and make it happen. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. And that means they got to get in here and buy, and that's what they're doing here. They got to expand wars, pull more cash into the now. Any reason they can think about to keep the system going. You know all this already. Okay, you're well versed in all this if you've been with me any length of time here. So let's see, going out on a limb here, like I was trying to do here. Thank you, Helen. Wow, appreciate that. Let's see if they manage to push the 10-year yield below 3. I mean, the effect on the MMRI would be profound. Okay, we would get an MMRI that would drop to almost what would be considered a normal level here. And it's an incredible thing. So if in fact, and I put out a newsletter earlier today, if they can manage to keep, Helen, thank you again, if they can manage to keep the debt market appearing stable, and the stock market does drop here, you're going to hate me to say this, but it's going to be a buying opportunity, especially for energy companies, the big banks, which of course they're going to get propped up in the middle of all this. You think the Fed's going to let a single big bank fail? Maybe one. All right, I have no idea. But according to Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, he said it's not over here. It's not over with regard to the banking crisis, which isn't a crisis, which was a crisis, but now it's a crisis again. I don't know, make this stuff up. Make any of this stuff up here. That's where we stand, people. Honestly, I think this, in fact, I know that there's nobody out here who has a better handle on this than all of us here. We got this down. We got it covered from every possible angle. Anyway, let's do a couple of questions here. Yellen is the dark crystal. I don't know what that means, but I can tell you that Yellen is, she's a creature and a thing and a yet to be defined. That's what she looks like to me. Something along those lines. It's just yes. Not only is the dollar dying, but this is a systematic wipeout. Okay, we have central banks who are determined to kill their currency. And I mean, you got to be brain dead not to see this going on. Thank you, Sandy. I mean, why do you think, for example, what's the real reason? What's the root cause of surging inflation around the world? Well, what is it? It's central banks killing their currency. Okay, they're determined to do this. You can't pump trillions of dollars into a dead system. This whole thing was over in 2008, in case you didn't know that. It was over then. What did central banks do? They pumped the system with trillions of dollars to try to reprop up, and they did very successfully, reprop up a stock market hyper bubble and a real estate bubble. This real estate bubble thing, they had to do that to get off the toxic assets, which used to be toxic, but now they're worth a fortune on these banks' books. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Olaf. Greetings from right here in Las Vegas. I appreciate it. Thank you, Obama. 18NC. I appreciate that too. Anyway, yeah, who's bearing the brunt? Who's paying for all this? Yeah, it's you and me. Yeah, you and me. We're paying for all this, and we're going to pay a lot more. You think we're done? You think they're done with? How many of you right here believe any of this is done? How many of you here that believe that there's going to be some kind of a moment here where this is going to get all lovely and beautiful for every single one of us that's just following this blog right now? How about no? How about no? It's not going to get, it's designed to get worse. Lava Girl, how are you? Anyway, this is where we are. This is where we stand here today, people. I don't know what else to tell you. I think, look, you and I, we know what we're doing. We know why we're doing it. We got each other's backs. And that's a fact. And that's the most important thing to me. Okay. You and I, they can do what they want. They can twist the system upside down, backwards, and sideways. But we're going to get through this. We're absolutely going to get through this. JEPI, buy or hold. What do you think, Magic Mika? I've been telling people for the longest time, JEPI pays a very fat, lovely, beautiful, succulent, okay, monthly dividend. Just you buy shares in JEPI and you hold on to them. Okay, it's kind of like an income stream. You understand? Uh, I think it's a great spot to be in, no matter what the market does right now. All right, if it drops, you buy more shares. Especially in this environment, if they manage to keep this phenomenon going of rate suppression from here into eternity, which I think they're going to do until they don't. And when they don't, people, you and I already have the best tool in on the face of the earth. It's called the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. Link in the description of this video. We know we don't have to guess. Look, all these crash callers, it's gonna crash tomorrow on this date at this particular time. You're gonna be kidding me. Okay, they've been wrong 100% of the time. These people are 100% of the time, and some of these people have bigger channels than me, because they don't follow the MMRI, because they have no idea what it means. They don't know that the stock market is a derivative as to what is happening in the debt market. Because if they knew that, you wouldn't hear these people calling for crashes every freaking day of their lives, just so they can get clicks or whatever the freak it is. You got to be kidding me, okay? I'm keeping all of you ahead of the curve. You're keeping me ahead of the curve. We're a team. This isn't just Greg Mannarino's show. This is our thing. This is a worldwide family, people. And like I said, we got each other's backs, and this is so important. Anyway, what else can I tell you here? I'm not going to talk about Mr. Ploney, who gets very upset. He gets very upset, that man, because he's been wrong. Let's see, every single time he's called a crash. He'll be right one day. He just ain't right now. Has never been right yet. I don't know. Look, you can't. For those people like him, I guess, who are using the Bible as a tool to predict the stock market, I think it's a great misuse of a great book. But that's just my take on it here. It's almost like an exploitation of it. And then something that does bother me a little bit. But what else? What else can we say here, people? I think we've covered it all. Okay, before I start getting complaints, if these videos run too long, I start getting, Greg, your videos run too long. Why are your videos? You know what? I don't care. All of you here are my base. And again, I want to give all of you a shout out. Those of you that support my work here, I really do appreciate this. Honestly, all of you who do support my work. And if you've yet to do that, there are links in the description of this video. PayPal, you can send me cryptocurrencies as well. There's several links down there, and I hope you take advantage of that, honestly. All right, and again, thank you so much from the heart. People, I'm going to get going here. Yeah, no one's complaining here, but wait till later. All right, everybody. I'll see all of you in the morning. This guy really loves all of you, not just Luna Girl. And I'll Lava Girl, duh. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.